The Washington football team is becoming playoff contenders to the U.S. diplomatic boycott of the Beijing Winter Olympics and an MLB lockout. There is a lot happening in the world of sports. Let's bring in sports agent and founder of Achilles PR, Doug Eldridge. Good morning to you.
Hey, good morning.
Always good to see you. So let's start at the top. The Washington football team. Who knew they could possibly be contenders?
I tell you what, I'm talking this morning from my office here on Capitol Hill, and we're about a half mile from the old RFK. And growing up in the 80s, that place would shake during big games, and there was none bigger than Dallas Week. Now, we're not quite back to that level yet, but this game does mean a lot for the Washington football team. This would be their 5th game in a row. If they win, it'd be the first time they're above 500 since the beginning of the last season. It'd be the 3rd straight win over Dallas for the first time in 30 years. But most importantly, Mo, it would move them 1 game closer to an outside playoff spot. Who would have thought at the beginning of the year?
Exactly. That's what I was thinking. Okay, so what do they have to do to beat the Cowboys? I know they've done it, like you said, a couple times already, but now this is sort of, put your money where your mouth is. What do you think they have to do to make sure they pull off this win?
Well, the answer is simple, not easy. And that is to say, you need to score when you have the ball. Not every possession has to be a touchdown, but you can't produce 14 and 15 points and expect to beat Dallas. On the other side of the ball, our defense needs to stay lockstep. They've allowed roughly 17 points over this 4-game win streak. They're going to have to hold just as tight with Dallas. A lot of pressure, ironically, is going to be on the young shoulders of Taylor Heineke. But look what he's done thus far. He's really shown up and shown out. So he'll need to do the same on Sunday.
He definitely is very impressive. Okay, let's switch gears here and talk about the U.S. diplomatic boycott of the Beijing Winter Olympics. I know a lot, this is a diplomatic boycott, but the players could still attend. Some people confuse as to exactly what's going on. Break it down for us.
Right. In simplest form, what a diplomatic boycott means is that a nation will not send their top diplomatic delegates, be that the president, the vice president, the first lady, secretary of state, etc. Anybody that's deemed at the top of the proverbial political food chain. So the U.S. will not be sending our core representatives to Beijing. What that really is a dismissal and a disavowal of key practices, mainly in the human rights area of China. What it doesn't involve are the athletes themselves. We're going to send a strong contingent to China. They're primed and poised for yet another record performance on the heels of Tokyo, 1 year delayed. And this will be, the 6th Olympics for my clients. We've won medals in 3 of the last 4. I'm really excited, but this does put a lot of pressure on the athletes because they're damned if they do and damned if they don't from a PR standpoint. Do I comment? Do I not comment?
Right.
The best thing they can do is stay focused and keep the main thing the main thing.
Right. Well, they're athletes. They're trained to keep their focus, so I'm glad for that. Okay, a last minute here, MLB announcing a lockout. What's going on here?
Right. So the difference, again, in a lockout and a strike is when the athletes refuse to show up for work. They picket. They won't walk in the door. A lockout is the inverse. They show up, and there's a literal lock on the fence, so to speak, although in these days it's metaphorical. What it really is a labor standoff. There's a disagreement in terms of how many slices and how big each slice should be of the revenue pie. Both the players and the owners went through a heck of a lot during the COVID year. Are they going to play? Are they not going to play? It's going to be a shortened season. How are we going to chop up the revenue? They weathered the storm, got to the other side, and then got in a fist fight on the shore. And that's where we are right now. Now, this is not insignificant, but it's not going to be as significant until we get to spring training and you start to see the real calendar get compressed and delayed, and both sides start to lose real money.
All right. Well, we're going to have to leave it there. Doug Eldridge, Achilles PR. Look, if I don't see you before the holidays, happy holidays to you. It's always been a pleasure having you on the show. It's been great. And you always break it down so concisely, so we always appreciate that from you.
Oh, thank you. I love talking to you. Happy holidays.
Oh, wait, before we go real quick, we would be remiss if we didn't talk about the Army-Navy game happening today in New Jersey. Who do you have?
It's got to be Army. My clients, Horse Soldier Bourbon, they're the ones that are actually honored with the uniform. The 12 guys that entered Afghanistan on horseback in the days after 9/11, they made the movie 12 Strong about them, the Green Berets on horseback. So every year, Army does a commemorative uniform. This year, it's on the ODA 595, the Special Operators Force, the Green Berets, the 12 guys that entered Afghanistan. I think my money's on Army. Go Army, beat Navy.
All right. The way you explained, okay, thank you. Thank them for their service. And I will have to say, though, Navy does have the record, Doug. Sorry.
Hey, we'll see.
We'll see.
Loser buys coffee.
I hear you. Good seeing you, Doug.